Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet Designs. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are doing part 2 of our gorgeous granny square skirt. Ah, very nice. Do you like that with the little loops there, little lace there on purpose so that if yours was not as tight as mine, you could actually just tighten it up with your strap. How gorgeous is that? Now for this tutorial you will need, I'm going to rush through this guys because the tutorial does go a long time. You'll need about 55 to 60 grams worth of thread. Now altogether throughout the whole piece I used about 155 to 160 grams, but for this part, which is your top bits and your bottom bits and I think one edge, you will need roughly around 55 to 60 grams. The only reason I'm mentioning that is if you don't have enough cotton left, you can use one of your other colors to contrast it, to do the second row maybe, to do up the top you can use different colors. It's a way of getting rid of your stash as well. You will also need your hook. Oh, let's try that. You will need the hook that we used, whoa, it really is blurry, to start off with, which was the 4mm, I can't get that's better, that we used to start off with, okay? You will need your scissors, your darning needle, stitch markers, and you will need your measuring tape specifically for your measurements today. All right, I'm not going to talk anymore. We're just going to get started creating the final part of our granny square skirt, part 2. Good luck, guys. Alrighty, guys, where I would have left you off, and I can't fit it all in, so what I might do is just fit it in widthwise to show you. All right, this is where you would be. You would have had all that done, okay? Just the middle bits you would have had done. Easy, easy. And one side of your side, okay? And that's where you'll be right here, right now. You would have gotten around to, from memory, you would have come around this way, would have come around here and you'd have gotten to here, and then you would have crocheted here, and I asked you to get to this corner where this stitch marker is and stop. So you don't really need the stitch marker here anymore, so take that little tiny one out, okay? But you do still need that one. Oh no, not really. You don't need it there. How's that? Now I've just got one here. This is a little tip I put in a lot of my tutorials. Just keeping a little stitch marker on your loop, so if you walk away and someone pulls your work and a little one comes around, or the dog or the cat, it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. All right, so take that out for now and let me show you where you are at. Moving everything out of the way and let's get super organized. All right, so what you have here is your corner. Now this is the bottom part of your work. Okay, the top part where we first started was way over here, the very first stitch we made. We're going to end up over there very, very soon, right? Oops. But for now, we are in this corner, all right? So take your stitch marker out for starters. You don't need it there anymore for now. All right, and what you have is your first cluster set. Oops, I'm getting framed there, Mary. What you have is your first cluster set, yes? So now you're going to chain 1 and 2. It is a corner, okay? And then we're going to, yes, we're going to turn our work to the side. Now you've got to bear with me, guys, because this is fairly big now, so it's going to be falling all over the place. Okay, let's move that over. And continue with your normal cluster set as normal. In there, 3 double crochets. 2 and 3. Then guess what you're going to do? Easy, jump into your next space with a cluster set of 3 double crochets, still using the jargon that I was using in our previous tutorial. Okay, so now what are you going to do? You're going to jump straight into that very next space. Super duper easy, this part. And you pretty much guessed it. You're going to jump into the next space. If you're anything like me, you can crochet over your tails. If not, just go for it and pop your 3 double crochets in that second last space. So I'll say second last space. It's the second last space before our first corner. Now you would have done something similar to this, exactly the same actually, when we were joining from our row that goes straight down. Yeah, when we weren't joining, we were just doing a straight row actually. You're going to jump into the corner with 3 double crochets. 2 Oh, I just did a half double there. Oh, sorry about that, guys. 2 and 3. Wake up, Mary. Oh. All right, so now what you've got to chain 1. Remember this? Find that middle stitch right in the middle. Let's get a nice close up here. Very, very close, huh? That middle stitch right there, that's the chain stitch in between your cluster sets. Pop your hook in. You've got 2 loops on the top, 1 on the bottom. Pull a loop through like so and pull it through to the loop. On your hook, chain 1. Jumping straight into the same corner, the next corner, the next corner, and you are popping your 3 double crochets. Let me bring that out again. Your 3 double crochets in there. Now you know this part because you've been doing this, keep going, throughout your piece, and you've done it twice already. I think twice? Yes, twice. If you've got 4 rows of grannies like I have, then you've done it twice. So just keep going all the way across to your very next corner. Now I'm 1 off the corner, and as you can see, I have a few ends to weave in later, but that's okay. That's, it's part of it all, isn't it, guys? Okay. 3. All right, we're at our very next corner. What are we going to do? So let's get a nice close up right there. Okay. And into the very first corner we go. Oh, that's too close. Sorry. 1, 2, and obviously 3 double crochets because that's what it's been all about. Okay. Chaining 1. Finding that chain stitch there. Yes. Pull a loop through. Pull it through to the loop on your hook. Chain 1 and into your next corner with your 3 double crochets and straight into your next space with your set of 3 double crochets. All right, I don't think I need to show you this part. So what I want for you to do is, and this is the interesting bit, you are going to go all the way across this side, all the way. It's a big side, okay? But when you get to that corner, you need to stop. Don't even start it. Just do that very last cluster set right there and wait for me there because we are going to join this side here over to the other side. It's going to be a little bit different than what we've been doing. It's a tiny bit tricky, but you can do it, all right? So go ahead and do this whole side. Ooh, get to that very first corner and I will meet you there in a moment. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of this side. I asked you to get to this corner right here and don't do it because we are now going to be joining this side to the other side and it can be fairly tricky, alright? If you are new to crochet, this will test your patience, but you can do this, alright? So pop in your 3 double crochets in the corner as you are doing a normal corner. Yes? Easy? Right, just pull up a loop for a minute. Well, you don't have to, I do. Well, actually you do because you need to organise your work. All right, so what you need to do is to grab your skirt with your right sides facing you and your wrong sides are still underneath, yes? So turn it back again. Now this is where we finished off still, so we haven't gone... Oops, I'm sorry guys, it's very fiddly now. Just bear with me, yeah? All right, so let's get a close-up. So that's the opposite side that we're going to be joining to, all right? So here I want you to, as normal, just do a normal chain stitch. In fact, don't do it tight, but don't do it that tight. I did it really tight then. Do a normal chain stitch like so. Grab your opposite side. I'm going to bring it out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Grabbing your opposite side and just picking it up, or you can leave it on the table if it helps you. So as you've been doing all along, you're going to go on top of it as if you were doing a normal side, okay? And then pull your loop through like normal, yeah? Chain 1, jumping straight back into your corner to finish off your corner with your 3 double crochets. Now that part not so tricky, but if you did that too loose, it's going to look really bad here. All right, so make sure it has really good tension there. It doesn't have to be tight where you can't move. All right, so now what we're going to do, We're slip stitching over to the opposite side, in through there, like so. Give it a nice tug, and then into the next space with your cluster set of 2 and 3. Yes, and then straight to the opposite side right there. Yes, giving it a nice tug, and straight into your next. Nice and tight. Remember, if we do it too loose, it's going to look a bit odd. Let's have a quick look at it. And there you go. All right. Easy. Oh, I'm not even in frame. Hello. You had one job, woman. Be in frame. All right. So let's continue. When we get to the corners, they're a tad tricky, but it's nothing you can't deal with. Yeah, they're a little trickier than the other corners that we were doing. No, it's just one step different. Not exactly trickier. It's just an extra step that you need to do, that you haven't been doing, but you're going to with this one. Okay, right opposite it there. We're almost there at the corner, almost. In fact, we are at the corner on this side. So let's get a close-up for you. There's your corner on this side. Put your 3 double crochets in it, like so. Chain 1, all right? Now, it's really awkward here. We're all over the place, aren't we? We are still going to go on the opposite corner, okay? So you're still going to pop your hook in, like so. Pull a loop through. Give it a good tug with this corner, yeah? Chain 1, slip stitch into your next spot. Pull that loop through. Yes, then you're going to go to the opposite corner, popping your hook in, pulling the loop through. Oh, don't let go of it. Let's try it again. In the opposite corner, pulling a loop through. Now you need to give everything a super tug, okay? Because that will be noticeable, yeah? And then you chain 1, jumping straight into the corner with your cluster set that you need to complete. All right, I'll show you that in a minute. Not yet. Oh, that's really loose. What have I done there? Hello. Okay, there we go. Jumping right into the opposite side. Really butterfingers today. I'm losing everything. Jumping into your next space with 1 cluster, and we're going to stop when we get into that space once we do it. So I can show you that corner. All right, so it was a little bit trickier than the other corners, and it's a tad different. I'll put the 2 of them together like that, but you really cannot tell much. Oh, if I can get them both together. Here, bring it out a little bit. You cannot tell much of a difference, okay? So it's a very tiny little bit different. Now, if you don't do this tight enough, you're going to have a massive gap there. So these next 2 corners, you need to do nice and tight. Now, just think you only need to do 2 more, okay? So that's easy, that part. This part is easy, sorry, I should say, not that part. That part was difficult. So this part's easy, and I messed that up anyway, so there you go, it doesn't matter. Pull your loop through like normal, continuing all the way across your side until you get to your second corner. We're almost there, because that's the joy of having smaller squares. And yours truly has ends to weave in. Hopefully you don't have as many ends as I do. So there you go. It's a little bit awkward here, guys, so just bear with me. It's hard to do with the camera there. I'm sorry. Okay, here we are. We're at the corner, yes? So we're going to start our corner with 3 double crochets. Chain 1. Now remember what we do. We still go opposite into the opposite corner. Pull that loop through like normal without losing the stitch. Nice and tight. Chain 1, and then we slip stitch into that stitch there. Pull the loop through, pull it through to the loop. Nice tight stitch there. And then what are we going to do? We're going to go right into the opposite corner, pull that loop through like so, nice tug, chain 1, and hopping into the corner. I'm not sure if you've got a stitch marker there, and I don't know why I've got mine. Don't worry too much about it, just keep going. If you've got one there, take it out like I'm going to. Okay, we are still finishing off this side. We're almost there, guys. Just think we're almost there. Well, not the end of the piece, but we're at the end of this side. How's that? We still have a bit more to do for the skirt. Okay, but that, like I said, the rest is easy. Trust me. Did you buy a used car from this lady? No. No, it is. It is a lot easier than this. This is a difficult part of making your granny square skirt. That's all. This part here. And we've got one more section to go. And then the rest is simple. Oh, yeah. Whoops. Pull that through. And on the opposite, we're going to do one last corner. And guys, you're going to love the rest. Yeah? Oh, not on the corner yet. Hello. Still got one more section to go. I'm going to go over this tail too. Hopefully you've crocheted or weaved in your tails, or you've got your tails somewhere else and not where I'm trying to teach you what to do to confuse you. Okay. Oh, there's the corner. All right. So again, we're jumping into the corner. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. And then you're going again right into the opposite corner, pull that loop through, nice tight tug loop, chain 1, slip stitching directly into your chain from the other section, pull it through, and then you're going to the opposite corner, and then you're just pulling that loop through like so. Chain 1, nice tight chain there. Yeah, jumping straight into the corner to complete your corner of 3 double crochets. Yeah, you get excited, guys, because all we're going to do now is jump into the next section and pull our loop through, and this is the easy bit. Well, you've got one more corner, but it's not a tough corner. You've done a corner like that before, so it will be relatively easy. Oh, so exciting. The skirt is almost done. Almost. Almost, guys. Oh. And to the opposite side. And 3, and opposite slip stitch, nice tight tug in there, jumping into your corner with your first 3 double crochets, 2, 3, chain 1, guess what, last corner, oops, don't lose your stitch, last corner, jump into that corner, pull a loop through like so, chain 1, turn your work to the side a little bit and finish off your corner. Right, and we're just going to do 1 cluster in the next space, and then we'll have a look-see, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do next. All right, so there is your side that you just completed. All right, so there you go. It doesn't look much different than any other side. All right, if you did yours nice and tight in that center there, in those centers right there, right in the middle, then it won't look any different. I'm sorry about the lighting here, and that little green thread is just the thread. There, that's better. All right, there you go. Perfect. All right, best part, guys. You're going to love this part. All right, turn your work to the side, and you're just going to go all the way along here, like you did before, making sure when you get to your corner, you're slip stitching into your slip stitch, finishing off your corner. Yes, I'll do one section for you, and then you can head off on your own. And when you get to that stitch marker right there. Don't complete it, just do your cluster set before and wait for me there. Get excited. In the meantime, let's get you started with one corner section and then you can head off on your own. Okay, here we go. All right, so you're doing your 3 double crochets, and this is too close. Your 3 double crochets. The lighting is all over the place today, guys. I do apologise. It's really, really strong, the sun today. Okay, jumping into your second last cluster set space there. All right, now we're near the corner. We're jumping into our corner spot, like so. Doing our 3 double crochets. Chain 1. And again, you are slip stitching into that chain stitch. I think I've done mine too tight. Oh, that'll teach me. Here we go. Slip stitching into the chain right there. Pull the loop through, chain 1, and finish off that cluster set from your very next square. And then you're back into your normal rhythm of doing 3 double crochets. All right, so I don't think I need to show you anymore. I think you can do this part here. Head off on your own, complete this round, get to the very last space right here, and I shall meet you up here in a moment. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the row. Now I said to get to your last space, perform your cluster set, and then wait for me there. From here, we are going to finally slip stitch into the top of that stitch where our stitch marker is. It was a bit tight. Pull your loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook, taking out your stitch marker for a moment. So from here, we're going to get right into that very next stitch, just the top of it, those 2 loops, and slip stitch across. So pop your hook in that stitch, pull a loop through, pull it through to the loop on your hook, into your very next stitch, pull a loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. And now we're going to jump into the space, not the stitch, the whole space. Pull a loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. From here, you're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, popping your blue stitch marker back in there. Okay, and 2 double crochets in the same space. So it's the start of your round, okay? All right, now, for every corner that you come to, we're going to do a double crochet 2 together in the middle of our sets. All right, so we're going to start off by doing 1 double crochet in the corner, right there, just 1, like so. Okay, move it over a little bit. In the same space, you're going to do half of that double crochet. So yarn over your hook, pop it in the space, pull up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook, yes? Yarn over, pull through 2. Hold it there. Yarn over your hook again. Pop it into the very next corner. Pull a loop through. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. You just did a double crochet 2 together. There's your normal double crochet and there's your double crochet 2 together, and that is your 1 stitch. Don't do this too loose or it's going to look a little bit weird as well. So straight into that same corner with a double crochet. So initially what you have, if you look on top, is 1, 2, 3 stitches. You got 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then the 2 that we joined together. Always when we get to a corner, that is what we're going to do. In your next space, you are doing your normal 3 double crochets, super duper easy, or cluster set, whatever you want to call them. And we're just going to do that until we get to our very next corner. And then we'll do our, what I like to call fancy stitch, but it's not really a fancy, it's just a double crochet 2 together. That's what it's called. Okay. And we're nearly there. And that's what we've got so far. Yes. Now we're jumping into our very next corner. Okay, yarn over your hook, a normal double crochet in there, just one. And now we're going to do 2 together. Yarn over your hook, in the space, pull up a loop, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, right into the very next corner, pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and then you just do a normal double crochet in the same space. And there you go. You've got your double crochet 2 together and a double. All right. And then you're jumping into your very next space with your cluster set. Yes? Shall I show you one more and then you can head off on your own and do the rest of the round? I think that might be a good idea. Okay. Terrific idea. I'm rushing to get to that corner for you. Oh, I don't know what to do. Quick, rush, rush, rush. Okay, there. Whoops. That's what happens when you rush. You make more mistakes. Take your time, guys. Don't rush like me. All right, so we are at the very 3rd corner, okay? Hook in the space. Do your normal double crochet first. And then yarn over your hook, into the space, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over again, jump into your next corner space, pull up your loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, pull through 2, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops and double crochet in the same space. Jumping into your very next space with your next cluster set. All right, so I think you know what you're doing here, all right? So that is pretty much what we're doing here. And we are now closing up the top part of our skirt. Okay, this is the top part. This is our waistband, all right? So we're just going to continue this row, continue it all the way around, get to your space before your stitch marker, and I will meet you up there in a moment. Alrighty guys, let me get you a nice close-up. I asked you to get to this section here. Now I left that space vacant because I wanted to show you that this was the area we slip stitched across and then we chained up, remember? You still need to pop your cluster set in that space there, just before your slip stitches. Okay. Now you are slip stitching directly into that stitch marker. Pull a loop through, take out your stitch marker, slip stitch into your next stitch, pull that loop across, and again into your next, pull the loop through, and then into the space. So slip stitch into your space, pull a loop through, and pull it through to the loop on your hook. And you're going to chain 1, 2, and 3, once again popping your, whoops, I can get it, stitch marker in that stitch right there. I think I've split it. No, I haven't. Good. All right. And in the same space, you are putting 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Now in this space, this was a space before our corner. Remember we did our corner and we did that like join 2 together. Now all you need to do, jump right over your stitches, go straight into your next space with 3 double crochets. Like so. And off you go, doing 3 into every space you see. And again, when you're getting to those corners, you're just doing a normal set. Like so. We're near the corner. We're not there yet. We are near it. And there we are, there's our corner, yeah? We're just going to jump into the space. It's as though there's no corners there, which there aren't any anymore now. It's just we are working directly into the round. Jumping over all your work, that you did in the corner, and you are doing your 3 double crochets. Now what this is doing, guys, is I'm going to pull this loop up and show you. This is going to tighten up your work a little bit up the top, which is what we're looking for. However, once we get through this round, we're going to start talking about measurements, all right? Continue in this row all the way through, get back around here, the space right before it, and I shall meet you up there in a moment and we'll start talking about measurements. Alrighty guys, this is where we are at the end of the row. Once again, leaving that space beforehand just to show you that that's our slip stitch row, or section I should say. And now we are doing 3 double crochets as we would any other row, like so. And of course what we're going to do here is slip stitch into the top of our stitch macaroni, like so. No, stitch macaroni, I make up my own words, sorry guys. Okay, so now what you're going to do, slip stitch into that next stitch, and again into your next, and one more time directly into the next space. Chain 1, 2, 3, and get ready for some measurement instructions. Okay, so yours truly, hopefully you're like me, where you have your waist here. From here to here is your waist. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all I have, right? Trying to get it all in. That's one side of my hip, that's the other side of my hip. We now have the next 2 rows to close up everything. Okay, we're going to start bringing it in and then that's it. And then we'll do 1 row of single crochet to tighten everything up, yes? Alrighty, so let's grab our measuring tape, okay? For me, I need to take 10 centimeters. Oh, okay, let me get it close up so you get it. Let's get all this out of the way. It's just going to confuse us. So I might give some space here. There you go. For me, my hips are 10 centimeters bigger than my waist. So I need to take 10 centimeters off. I don't know how big your waist is. Your hips are, sorry, to your waist. Your waist is to your hips. But for me, I need to take 10 centimeters off the next 2 rows to make it fit my waist. Otherwise, it's going to be so big. We can have it a little bit big. It doesn't matter because we can make some ties that we can pass through these little spaces here. So that's not a problem. You can leave it like this if you like, and then continue on the next 2 rows and then just add the your strap, right? But for me, I'd like to tighten it up just that little bit. And the best part is I can show you how to do your decrease again. It's like we did in the corner. Remember we did that decrease there? Okay, we're going to do the same with our cluster sets here. Now, the other thing you need to think about and you need to focus is if you are, let's say, smaller than that, and you only need to take off 3 cluster sets, all you need to do is when we start working in the round, you take 3 cluster sets off evenly throughout this whole round. This round that we're working on is where we are doing the decrease. And the reason is because we are now off the hips. We've started going into the waist, so it's got to start turning in, yes? If it doesn't turn in, it's not going to close up, yeah? And we want it to close up. So if you had, say, that much to take off, that's a couple of cluster sets. In the round, all you need to do is decrease 2 cluster sets in the round, which I will show you how to do. But let's say you're happy with the circumference right now. All you need to do is join us along the way and just keep doing your cluster sets in the round for every row that we do now. Okay, but for everybody else, if you wanted to take your take in your work and make it tighter, this is the row to do it in. Okay, I need to take 10 centimeters off, which for me is around 5.5 cluster sets, or nearly 6 cluster sets. It's not really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's almost 6 cluster sets. No, it's 5. We'll leave it at 5. All right, so we need 5, yes? So I calculated all my clusters in the round. That's these things right here. There are 50 cluster sets in the round, okay? I need to take off 5 in this round only, okay? So my best bid is to take 1 off in every 10th space. So let's go to one side of the hip, and of course it doesn't have to be exact, okay? It's okay to be like half a cluster off, it doesn't matter. So we're here, this is the hip, yeah? Starting from that hip there, we are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That will be where I make my reduction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's another reduction. Let's grab stitch markers right there. Okay. And just keep going all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Threads everywhere. 7, 8, 9, 10. And there's another reduction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There. I think we've got plenty now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I've got my 5 stitch markers in. When I get to those stitch markers right there, I will do a reduction, which we're going to do together. So don't stress, we're going to do that together. It depends how many sets of reduction that you want for your measurement. You, by all means, can take as many off as you like. If by the end of this row it doesn't look right, it's too loose still, you can still do it in the other row, okay? But it's better to have it done right now. This is the time to do it, okay? I'm hoping all this made sense for you, but let's get going. We're going to slip stitch across. Where am I? I've done that. I haven't slip stitched into there. I don't know what I did. Slip stitch into your space. Get to your space. I don't know. I must have taken it all undone before. I don't know what I did. But anyway, chain 1, 2 and 3, grabbing your stitch marker Rooney and popping it in there like so. Stitch marker, I'm being silly. Okay, 2 double crochets in the space. 1 and 2. And then straight into your next space. I'm going to pick up speed here until we get to our next stitch marker. If by any chance you did not need to take yours in and yours fits perfectly, just keep going in the round with your cluster sets for this row for me, and we will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, from here, you're going to do pretty much what we did before on our corners. And in fact, that's actually a corner. Okay, so taking out your stitch marker, you are going to put 1 double crochet in there, like so. And now, just get everything out the way so you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to join 2 together across here again. So pop your hook in, pull up your loop like normal, yarn over, pull through 2 like normal, yes? Then you yarn over your hook, skip over all of these double crochets, jump into your next space, pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, sorry, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, do another double crochet right there, and you're done. It looks a little bit odd, but trust me, once we do our next round, it will look okay. So now you're just putting a double cluster, just a normal cluster, a double crochet in there, 3 of them, right up until you get to your very next stitch marker. And let's pop this on fast for you, and off we go. Okay, here we go. We are very close. This is the space before the stitch marker. And there's the stitch marker right there. So we're taking our stitch marker out. And this is the space that you started in. Okay, so you're doing your double crochet in there first. 1. Just move everything out the way. And now we're going to do your 2 together, remember? Start it, hold it there, yarn over your hook, jump into your next space, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, do 1 double crochet in the same space that you're in, and then you're jumping straight into your next cluster set. And there you go. All right, I think you're getting the picture in that area. Now for the rest of you, if you are not wanting to do that closing up bit there, okay, you're welcome to just keep going around and meet us up at the end of the row. And for those of you who need to do more of them, make sure you pop your stitch markers in and get your stitch marker and do them at the stitch markers, all right? So what I want you to do is do exactly that all the way across until you get to, where's my last, the other stitch marker? Did I not put it in? Where is it? Hello. Oh, I can't find the row. Here it is. Hello. Wake up, Mary. Until you get to the stitch marker that you need to close up your work with, all right? So head off and do your row, and I shall meet you back here once we get to that stitch marker right there. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the row, and now let's just finish off our last cluster set before that slip stitched area. Okay, and you would have noticed that your joins were right in the middle here, and they're probably really pulling. That is normal. Okay, that is very normal. All right, so just take out your stitch marker and a slip stitch into there like so. And we are going to slip stitch across once, twice, and right in the center we're going to chain our 1, 2 and 3. Get excited guys, because we're nearing the end of this part of the tutorial, and then we need to do the bottom part, which is very easy. Okay, the bottom part is the easiest part of this whole tutorial. So you are going to pop your 2 double crochets in the same space, 3 into your next space as normal. We're going to come up to that tighter area soon. 3 into your next, 2, oops, and 3 into your next. I'm not sure if you're at your tight area yet, or if yours was further out, but this is all you need to do really, is to pop your 3 double crochets in every space you see. Now that's the tight area, so all I'm doing is popping our 3 double crochets in that first space, skipping over all of this, jumping into our next space with 3 double crochets. Now that has tightened that whole area up. Okay, same with the section here, which is just normal. I'm just going to pop this on fast guys, just until we get to that section where it's all squished up, where the double crochets are all squished up. All right, so off we go. Alrighty guys, here we are, right there. You may have noticed that I ended up with a dishevelled mess still there in the middle of that, but you know, that happens. Alright, so there we are, right where that tight section is, and once again all you're doing is popping a cluster set before the tight section, like so. 2 and 3, and a cluster set directly after your tight section there. So right into your next space with 3 double crochets. I'm only going to put 2 because look, I can't get that undone, so I may end up having to cut that, hopefully not. But anyway, It happens. All right, so now what you're going to do, your job is to just pop cluster sets pretty much in your round, making sure when you get to that tight section right there, you are doing a cluster set in there, skipping over your tight section and a cluster set in there. For everybody else who don't have those tight sections, just do your cluster sets in the round, get to this stitch marker right here, and let's talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the row. I have one cluster set left to make, and I will pop that in now. Alright, we're going to slip stitch to join here, but we're going to change the pattern now, okay? So pop your hook in, pull a loop through, pull it through to the loop you are in, you're taking out your stitch marker like normal. I think I might have mentioned we need to do one more row. We actually need 2 rows here, but not of double crochets. So chain 1 in the same stitch that you are in. Let's get a nice close up for you. You're going to pop a single crochet, and a single crochet is just popping your hook in that little stitch, pulling a loop through like so, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops, and then we'll grab a bigger stitch marker here, I think. Pop your stitch marker in the top of those 2 loops right there. That's very tight, so I'm going to struggle to slip stitch at the end of the row. Don't make yours too tight, guys. And now we are going to pop a single crochet into every stitch you come to. Now that's these 2 loops you see here, yeah? And if you're not sure, just give your stitch a stretch, and then you can pop your hook in that space. All right, so go ahead and do that. So there's your first one right there. Pop your hook in, pull a loop through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And again in the very next stitch, 2. And so on, all the way across your row. No stopping, just keep going. Now this row, you're going to fly through this. It's a very, very quick row. You are going to fly. So I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do this. I would like for you to pop a single crochet all the way through, get to your last stitch right there, and I shall meet you up there in a moment. Alrighty guys, I asked you to get to the end of the row. I have a few stitches left there. There's a second last stitch right there. There's my last stitch right there. We're going to slip stitch directly into that stitch marker. I knew it was very tight, didn't I? I did say it. Oh dear. Okay, so pull your loop through, pull it through the loop you are in, chain 1, single crochet once again into that stitch, like so, popping your stitch marker in. Alright, the bonus guys is this is the last row for the top of your skirt. Alright, so what I want you to do is do exactly that, single crochet all the way across the row. And what this is doing, this is tightening up your skirt yet again. Okay, now if you like, before you continue this part, try your skirt on. If your skirt is already tight enough, don't do another single crochet row. But I suggest to do it, because what happens is that it does stretch anyway, crochet, as you know. What happens is it gives it more of a reinforcement, making it tighter up here, so that none of this it won't come undone, because we're very good at weaving in ends, right? Aren't we just? But it's sort of more of a reinforcement for your skirt, all right? So just for the top part, the bottom part's going to be different again, but the top part we are going to do your 2 rows of single crochet. We've done one already. We're going to do this last one, continue that single crochet row, get back here and get excited for what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, how did you go? Get excited, because this is the final row for the waistband. So single crochet into your last stitch if you haven't done that already, and then you're just slip stitching. I'm going to take my stitch marker out because that's really tight. Really tight. All right, slip stitching into the top of your last stitch like so. Pull a loop through, making sure you check your work. Okay, as you can see, I like to pull a really big tail, because this way If there's any errors, I can go ahead and fix it, all right? But it doesn't look like there's any errors. Oh, and there you go. So see how it kind of turns in now? If you are finding that is still too loose on you, you see this row here? We can put a strap in there. We can do some chains and then weave it through this way, pop it in front, and you can just tie it up in front like a little bow or something. We can do that as well, all right? In the meantime, guess what? We still haven't finished the lower part of our skirt, but this is an easy part. Truly, it is so easy, guys. Not as difficult as the waistband. You don't need measurements. You don't need anything. All you need is a piece of thread, starting at the back of your work. Now find where your back of your work is. See your tail end right there? Yeah? Start there. Right on the opposite side. Again, no problems as to where you start, but I like to start roughly, and it doesn't matter what square you start in, but I do roughly like to start in a space before the corner. Helps me to remember that once we get to the corner, we have to do that join double crochet two together section, if you remember correctly from before when we were doing the top of the waistband. So for now, what you're going to do is just grab a new thread. Oh, you're going to love this bit, guys. Very simple. Grabbing your tail, passing it forward. Is this not too close? Whoa, I'm getting too close. There we go. Passing it forward, l'accent, and chaining up one. Now it's too far away. Can't win, can we? Chain 1, 2 and 3. Let's just give everything a bit of a tug there, and double crochet your 2 double crochets in the same space. Oh, I forgot to put a stitch marker in that chain 3. Get it in that chain 3, which is right there. Okay, that was our double crochet that we just did, and that's our chain 3. Excellent. And you need to do your 3rd double crochet. Let's try that again. 3rd double crochet. Doesn't want to work for me today, huh? All right, popping that little tail end at the back. So we're going to pop our double crochet in there, the first one. Now, if you look carefully, this is that unusual join from before. So it's going to be fairly tight for me to find the stitch, but it doesn't bother us, okay? Remember the join double crochet 2 together. So you've got your yarn over your hook, pop it in the space, pull up a loop, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, hold it there. Yarn over again, jump straight into the next corner. Pull a loop through, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. You're doing 1 more double crochet in there. Then you're doing your double crochets in your cluster sets all the way across until you get to your center stitches again, where you're going to do that join as you go to hello, where you go, I can't get it out, where you're going to get where you're going to get to that double crochet 2 together. Oh, I'm not even going to edit this part, guys. It's at the end of the tutorial and I don't want to edit anything, so bear with all the mistakes. All right, we're nearly there. All right, so here we are at that very next corner. We're going to pop a double crochet in the first space like we would normally, and then we're going to do that join the 2 together, 2 corners together. So yarn over your hook in the space, pull a loop through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, jump straight over and into the very next corner, pull up a loop, 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, do 1 double crochet in the same space, and oops, and there are your 1, if you think about it, 2 and 3 stitches. All right, and that was just closing it up. Okay, I don't think I need to show you anymore. I think you know what you're doing. You've done this already up the top, and now you're doing it again here. So what I want you to do, easy row this, keep doing that. You're doing your clusters in every space, then you're doing your corner stitch, clusters, corner stitch, do that all the way, get back to this stitch marker right here, and I'll meet you there in a moment. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the row. Just going to slip stitch. Make sure you did your last cluster set there, yeah? Just going to slip stitch right in the bottom of that stitch there. I'm sorry, let's try the top of that stitch. Hello, wake up Mary. Oh, this is the end of the tutorial, you can tell. Pull a loop through. You're going to not chain one, you're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch like we did before with the top. Once, slip stitch across, twice, slip stitch into the space, pull that loop through, chain 1, 2, 3, pop your stitch marker in like that. Oh, if I can get it in. Hello. Well, today would be good, Mary. Some stage this year would be nice. 2 double crochets in the same space. You can tell when I get tired. You can tell. All right, then you are jumping directly, you're skipping over all of your big join that you did earlier, jumping directly into the next space with your 3 double crochets. Oh my gosh, this is such an easy row. And I don't even think I need to go on. I think you can just do this. You can do this row without me even talking. Maybe I should just be quiet then, hey? They're probably saying, be quiet, woman. All right, so here we go. Almost at the end of this square. And then we're going to go right into that corner. Just give me one moment. We've got 1 cluster set left. We're very fast now, aren't we? I'm sorry, am I going too fast for you? All right, so there's your corner set again. You're just going to put a cluster set in the space before your corner set. And put a cluster set after that set. Okay? So what that's going to do is that's going to now close up your row. Okay? It's going to sort it out, tighten it all up, which is what you want. You don't want it too stretchy, you know, but you also don't want it to be too tight either. So what this row will do is it'll just close it up to make it just perfect. Yes? Get all the way around, get to the stitch marker right here and get excited, and I'll meet you there in a moment. Alrighty guys, how did you go? I've got 1 cluster set to go. 1, 2, and 3. And then we are going to slip stitch right, yes, before I split the stitch then, right in that stitch marker. Oh, let's take that stitch marker out. It's just confusing me a little bit. All right, let's do right into that stitch marker there. Oh, it's just a loose stitch, that's all. And slip stitch right through, pull up a loop. Guess what? Oh, check your work first. Otherwise, give it a cut. Yes, so check your work, give it a cut. Well, let's move everything out the way. And guess what, guys? You are finally done. Okay, now lots of screaming happening there by me. We're going to talk about weaving and ends in a minute. Don't stress too much about that. But let's just have a quick look at our front here. Let's say, for argument's sake, this is the top end of our work now. I've turned it over. You can see the way the waist goes in. Let's bring it in a bit so you can see. See how the waist turns in? And you think, well, I'm still not happy that that is tight enough. It's kind of stretchy and it's a little loose around my waist. So what you're going to do is you're going to make one of these, yeah? Just a quick tie up, something quick and simple, and don't fuss too much. Don't make it into single crochets. Don't make it into anything fussy. Just give yourself a little loop like so. Let's move it out the way. And all you're doing is chaining a gazillion chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, gazillion, and so on, right? I chained roughly around let me get my measurements, 156 centimeters or roughly around 62 inches. It doesn't have to be perfect. What it has to be is to be able to get around your waist, yes, and still have, you know, quite a little bit down below to tie up in a little bow if you want to tie it up in a bow. So I'm just going to go the last, I don't know, 5 stitches, pull it through, give it a tug and cut that as well. Actually, before you cut that, now a lot of people ask me, when you do something like this, do you leave the thread dangling? No, I don't. Some people do, but I don't, so I'm going to show you. This is my chains, that's my full length. I haven't weaved in the other end yet, like that, not yet. So I'm going to show you this. You don't have to, you can leave it, you can cut it there and just leave it dangle. A lot of people do, but I don't like to do that. Seriously, I don't. But it's entirely up to you. And this is very fiddly, so you might want to leave yours dangle. But what you're doing here is you are splitting your threads in and out of your stitches that you've just done. Now I've split, which is an absolute no-no in crochet, but I do it anyway. You like that? Hey, Mary breaks the rules, don't tell anyone. There you go. So I'll pull it right up like that. Not too tight. Just pull it right up. I think it's not high enough. So I'm going to go a little bit higher, and then I'm going to come back down in a different section so that it's not noticeable. Well, you know, it'll still be noticeable. It will. So this is why a lot of people don't do this. Okay, I do. I like to split. And if you don't split right, it can come undone, or it can look extremely noticeable, and you don't really want that to happen. Okay, so there we go. I've gone, I reckon that's high enough. Now I'm going to go back down the other way that we just came into, a different area, of course, because we don't want to unravel what we just did. So you just find this is where you need a really good sharp needle for this one, because, you know, splitting is it's not recommended. Absolute no-no. Don't tell anyone that Mary breaks the rules. Absolute no-no. All right, so there we go. Oh, look at that. That didn't work at all. Just being wary. Check everywhere when you do something like this. Perfect. And I've split all over the place. All right, so there. Now you can go back up again if you like. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it there. Give it a cut. And I know a lot of people actually put a little bit of wool glue on that. Some glue on it so it doesn't come undone. Then what you do, and I'm not going to do the other one because I just want to show you what to do so you can go ahead and do it. That's the back. Oh, let's go back in it. That's the back of your skirt. Remember the thread? I still haven't weaved that in. This is the top of your skirt, yeah? So what you want to do is turn it around to the front. Find the center of your piece, you know, find a center, whatever center that is for you. And right there, see that? Right there. Not in your single crochets, but right there. You just pull that through like so. All right. Then you just keep pulling it through. You go back in this way, like that. Like so. Go into your very next space, like that. Oops. You probably won't even need, you don't even need the hook. Really, you don't. You just go like that, see? Just grab it and pop it through there. All right, so go ahead and do all of that. Coming back this way, I probably should have left this in the middle this way, I'm sorry. It should have been in the middle in front. Whoops. Your end should be in there, and then everything else should go through there. All right, so your end should be in the front already. Don't stress too much. We can always sort that out later. But there you go. Go ahead and weave that through there. Don't forget to weave in all your ends, guys. I'm not going to sit here and let you watch me do them because you've done them all before when you've done this. For this piece, oh, is this inside out? No, it's the right way. For this one here, all you're doing is finding a little space here through there and weaving it down inside the inside of your skirt. Okay, same what you need to do for the bottom part. That's it, guys. I don't think I need to show you anymore. Don't forget, guys, you should make this little guy right here, and I will hopefully have a little bit of a video at the beginning of this tutorial so you can have a look-see on what it looks like on. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and don't forget, guys, if you want to be a part of what we make here on the channel, you are welcome to join us on our lives at 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoons and 10 a.m. Saturday morning, Melbourne, Australia time that is. That's every week, where we discuss some of the items that we're going to make throughout the year, and we also discuss some of the items that you guys want to see. And also, there are many times that you guys get to choose the color combination, the idea, whatever it is, and that's it. Don't forget, we also have competitions as well, giveaways if you will. Thank you so much for watching, and all I want to say right now, guys, is I love my little skirt. Ciao for now.